Well, good morning and or afternoon or whatever it is in your time zone. Um, we're providing this video to give people a chance to understand the new medicine water wheel mandala. We've upgraded it, and in the prayers with the holy ones, they were suggesting us to simplify it, but also enhance it, like magnify it. And so the designs that we're going to be showing you is basically that came from the Holy Realms. This is how we're going to execute the next rounds of new medicine water wheels. And so we'll go through a full explanation of how this is done. I want to kind of mention here that this is not for the novice people that are just joining us and trying to figure out, well, what is a medicine water wheel? This is more for the veterans who have already made the original form of the medicine water wheels. This is just the enhancement for the veterans. So I just kind of want to kind of clarify that. For those of you who want to learn more about it, we'll have different segments posted for you, the newcomers, if you will. And if you want to join in or get involved with how to create these medicine water wheels. The medicine water wheels began way back in 2005, and we've been working with them ever since. And so literally we have thousands of them placed around the Mother Earth for the enhancement of the waters and the purification and clarifying the waters in many different areas on the Earth. I think with that being said, my name is Marshall Golden Eagle Jack. Everybody calls me Grandfather Golden Eagle now since I upgraded the ladder. I want to thank Jigna for pulling all this together for us. She's worked with me in the past on the People's Wave of Love website. And so she's going to be our host today, and she'll be asking maybe some certain questions that we'll address as we go along the way. So I'm going to hand it back to Jigna, and without further ado, I'll let her take it away from here.
Thank you so much, Grandfather Golden Eagle. So happy to be here and to, bring this updated version of the water wheel. When I met you many years ago, I had the privilege to participate in a in-person water wheel ceremony with you, which was such an honor for me. I learned a lot from that, and there was a lot of pieces in that ceremony, as I vividly remember. So I'm sure we're all eager to know what kind of updates the Holy Ones have shared with you, and how we can sort of help others learn.
Okay, so as you're looking at it on the screen, the left one is the original mandala that we started with. This is what we call a 7-pointed star energy field. Those of you that worked with this water wheel, we've placed 7 crystals around that mandala. We placed it on the ground and interconnected everything with the ley lines and the joining of the energy fields inside of the mandala or inside of the medicine water wheel. Now, when the Holy Ones came in, it was almost as though the Holy Ones were getting a little wobbly with all those lines in there, right? And so they said, we need to simplify this, because if they're getting confused or getting wobbly, what's the ordinary person going to be feeling when they see this? So I said, okay, so what do we need to do? And they said, remove the interdimensional lines. And so when we did that, and actually these these changes, or the actual photos of these, was under Jigna's supervision. She managed to put these photos together for us. So on the right side, this is the natural basic design of the new medicine water wheels. So you could see the simplification there, because now you have, this the white lines going out directly, the gold circles, where over on the original one you had gold lines going here, white lines going there, and all kinds of wiggly dudes in the center. Okay, so we eliminated that. So now it cleaned it up, but it also gave more of a visual of how simple creating a medicine water wheel really can be. And so with this template, now we're going to show you how to use this with the new energies that are going to be placed inside of this mandala. So if we can switch to the next slides. Okay, this may be a little bit confusing for you out there, but if you can keep in mind the original the new mandala, the placement of the crystals in the new mandala is what's going to amplify the energies in your water wheels, wherever you have them around the world, or in your home, backyard, wherever. And so basically what we're doing is we're adding more crystals to the medicine water wheels. Instead of just having 7 points, now we're going to have 25 points in the medicine water wheel. That's a lot of energy if you really think about it. We're going to have 25 crystals embedded in the Mother Earth, just as we did before. And so this design here kind of gives you a better idea of how, in a ceremony, this is optional. You can do it whichever way you want to do it. But for instructional purposes, we put this together to kind of give you an idea of how to place the crystals on the Mother Earth. So the first one is that we go inside, we place a crystal on the inside, then we go north to number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, 6, 7, so on and so forth. So we're placing crystals at all of those numbered places in the medicine water wheel. I have a feeling that once you do this on your own, you're going to start feeling a lot of energy, because the crystals are kind of working all together around you, right? And so as you keep on going, I'm going to say once you get up to number 18 or 19, you might feel a little wobbly because of the energy of the crystals coming together and working together. So again, this is just a suggestion of how to place the crystals. You could do it if you want to change up the order or whatever. That's totally up to you. So once we've placed the crystals, what came through is that we literally create a labyrinth effect. So the picture on the right side, after you have placed the crystals, or actually when you're placing the crystals, this is what you're creating. You're actually creating a labyrinth in your own medicine wheel, water medicine wheel. Okay, so when you're placing the crystals in the medicine water wheel, you are literally creating a labyrinth if you go with this design. Like I say, this is an option. But for me, when you have, now this might get a little intense. So let's say, for example, you gather up with 10 of your water people, and they want to help you with this design, right? The new design. We are talking 25 crystals to be placed in the medicine water wheel. So let's go back to the original, right? We had 7 points, and we would hand every person 7 crystals to put one in each of the 7 points, right? So when we go to the new one, okay, so now this might be a little intensive, but if you have 10 people with you, that means 10 times 25 crystals a piece. So that's 250 crystals, right? If I have my math correct. So each person is going to be placing 25 crystals into the Mother Earth. And I don't know about you, but if we had just 10 people, 250 crystals, it's like, whoa, that is some powerful, powerful energy. Now for me, because we've always done things big anyway, I usually had a minimum of 20 people, right? So that's 20 times 25. Or if you wanted to get bigger, I think one of my biggest one was down in where was it, in California, on the beach, Venice Beach. We had over 300 people placing crystals into Mother Earth there with 7 apiece. Now, if you took 300 times 25, I mean, that is a lot of energy. And this is what the Holy Ones were discussing, is that we need to increase the energy that goes out to our waters. And so this is what they've shown. I mean, it might take you a little bit to kind of absorb how powerful this really is. Okay, so now once we go over to the mandala, or not the mandala, but the labyrinth, okay, what's very important to understand is that each individual, including yourself, when you make that first offering with the first crystal, is your main focus. Well, let me kind of back up here a few seconds. Before you enter into the medicine water wheel, what I would suggest is that you have a ceremony for either for yourself or for your people to get them focused on the waters of your homeland, of the waters of your community, of the waters of your state, of the country, so on and so forth, and then broaden it out to the waters of the world. And so that's the focus. That's the intention, is that we're using this energy to enhance all of the global waters. And so remember that wherever we have the medicine water wheels already placed around the planet, this is going to automatically enhance all of those water wheels that are already in place. That might be a little far-fetched thinking, but this automatically, because it's all crystalline energy. Crystals communicate with crystals. So now we have 25 crystals communicating with another medicine water wheel maybe 30, 40 miles away. And so on and so forth. I mean, that's a little bit to kind of appreciate of how powerful this is. So going back to the labyrinth. So once you have your focus, then you're going to start by now this happens when you place the crystals, right? So you start and you go into number 1, which is the center one, and then number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way around. But literally what you're doing is you're creating that labyrinth as you place each crystal in sequence. And so with your focus, your own individual intentions, it's going to be adding to the influence of that medicine water wheel. It's going to magnify it, even if it's just you doing it. But if you have several people with you, that's just kind of, just kind of multiplies and multiplies and multiplies. So I'm hoping this gives an explanation of how powerful these new medicine water wheels are literally going to be. So once you follow the lines and you're going all the way around the labyrinth, and then at the end, at number 25, and then you're just going to exit back out of the medicine water wheel and lay down and take a break, get some water or whatever, and to say, whoa, that's crazy energy. So you're definitely going to need to take a little bit of a break after working with this. So at the end of the day, this next image is what's going to be on the earth itself. The new medicine water wheel. A very beautiful design. And so when I look at this, I don't know, I kind of get, what do they call that? Chicken skin? Or goosebumps? Or a lot of people call it different. But for me, it just radiates energy out to the waters. Very powerful. So I'm going to kind of give it back to Jigna here a second. So is there any questions that pop up in your mind?
Really insightful and profound and really powerful. Thank you so much for walking us through step by step. So one of the questions that came through that we already answered was, how do you enter the water wheel and how do you exit at the end? The one question that was coming up for me is, what is the minimum amount of people you need to do a water wheel ceremony like this?
The minimum is one, yourself. If you're not actually placing this on the Mother Earth as we have with the rest of the medicine water wheels, a lot of people had purchased the mandala itself and placed them in their home. And then they put the crystals, around that mandala that they purchased. And if there's people out there who want to go that route, I would need them to email me or get in contact with me so I can produce that for them. Okay, again, going back to the entrance and exits, just one more time, just to reiterate. Okay, so as you're going into the medicine water wheel, the direct line from number 1 to number 3, that is pointing towards the north. Okay. So we create, from there to there, that's going north. And then as you're laying the crystals in there, you're going to go clockwise, right? Going in and out, in and out, in and out, in and out to create that labyrinth. And then at the end, number 25, and then you're just going to exit the same place that you entered. Okay. Any other questions that you think might need to be answered?
I know that you posted the early pictures of this updated wheel in your community online. Were there any other questions that were coming up from there?
There was a question about what kind of crystals do you use and how big. That's a personal That's your own personal reference. What I would suggest is to use rough rose quartz crystals. They're a little bit more affordable, but the reason I use rough rose quartz is because it hasn't been machined a lot. And I've found out in the past working with crystals if that if a crystal is machined, made, it kind of takes the integrity away from the energy of that particular crystal. And so you would have to do a lot of clearing and ceremonies for that crystal to go back to its original form, if you will. I'm not saying they're not bad to use, like the polished crystals or whatever. I would rather just go with a raw rose quartz, or you can go raw clear quartz if you want. Um, and the size doesn't really matter. It's your preference. I usually like to have the rose quartz crystals probably about the size of my thumb. You know, almost kind of like a large marble shape. And so I can use those. So, you know, if I was to carry 25 rose quartz crystals around, I would want them, you know, a decent size where you're not needing a wheelbarrow to take them around inside the. You can if you want, depending on the size. But for me, about the thumb size is more than adequate.
Is it okay to use darker colored crystal or just stick to the lighter ones?
Mm, when you're talking with crystals, when you start changing colors, their energy fields change also. So the clear, the rose, um, they all have basically a clear energy field that you can place your intention into. And so our intentions is to, you know, work with the waters, obviously. So say like, for example, if you get a green crystal or, you know, a jade crystal or whatever, it's not solely designed to work with water. It works with a different um, aura system or a magnetic system, or yellow crystals or uh, any other colored crystal. I would advise never to use any crystal that has black veins in it or that are black crystals like obsidian or uh, um, smoky quartz crystals, anything that has black with it. Black will offset the energies. And so I advise people not to use anything that has a black strand in it.
Okay.
Um, and you can get more information about how to work with crystals and what their integrity is too.
Okay. So on this image here, we have the crystals around in the various points. The one in the center is a little bit large, but was there a particular reason for this one to be represented that way?
No, it was just graphics, just kind
Okay.
of
But that's the starting point the
right,
first point where we put the crystals down. Okay.
right.
Okay.
Because now
Okay.
you're beginning the process of energizing that medicine water wheel with that first crystal. And in ceremony, you know, you ask permission, right? Obviously, and then you just kind of move forward, and each time you go into a different numbered area, like 1 to 2, and then you're continually asking for the enhancement of the waters, right, in that direction in the north. And then once you get up to the north, and then you're going to start heading east a little bit to the next crystal, the next number. And so all the time is focusing in on the waters, focusing in on the waters, and broadcasting that energy out.
So again, this was for the experienced folks who have done water wheel ceremonies before. And there will be one whether it's a booklet, a video, we'll see however that wants to come through, guidance for folks who are interested in learning and wanting to start doing water wheel ceremonies on their own, whether it's at home or in community. I just want to thank you, Grandfather Golden Eagle, for taking the time um, to channel the message from the holy ones. And I'm glad we got that represented in a reasonable manner on these graphics. I know it took some back and forth, and hopefully this serves. And hopefully, ultimately, this serves the waters. Thank you.
The other thing I want to kind of reiterate too about this, the new medicine water wheels, is we're going to, what would be the right word? We're going to be doing ceremonies on the pink moon, and the pink moon is all about enhancements, right, or change, or renewing. And so I think it's an appropriate time for this to come into play, because that's basically what we're doing with the original water medicine water wheels, is that we're enhancing them. We're not replacing them, we're just enhancing them. Or if you're an overachiever, so get one ready to go for the pink moon full moon ceremony. So we'll see you out there somewhere in the ethers. So again, I want to thank Gina for putting all of this together, and her amazing talent and putting all the designs together. We went back and forth, back and forth. I don't know how many days, but we finally got it down to what was presented today. So thank you for your time and your energy. So we ask a blessing for you and your family. So at this time, I'm asking a blessing for all of you out there, all of your ancestors, and we just focus in on the water so we can enhance the water. So until we meet again, aloha.